All right, so I had some questions about how exactly I did the lighting and some things about here, so I thought I'd make a short video explaining the process. In the description, I'll put links to all the products that I'd used. So let's talk about the things I used to do this. So I'm gonna get to the electrical part probably last, but just from a material standpoint, in Amazon, they had these individual tiles. These are two-sided. So this is what one side looks like. On the back side, it is this pattern. So I did a little bit of the math and square footage I needed. I think it took 3 packs and got that for flooring. And then I also got this carpet, which is legit, like real carpet. Anyway, a few sheets of that for all the bedrooms there, back that way, and this one. And the other flooring, which I'll put a link in the description, is this individual bamboo flooring. So I got some here and over there. And my only gripe with it was that there was a lot of variation in the color, whereas on this floor I'd kind of grouped a similar shade, so it wasn't too much variation, and then I had to resort to using all of the leftover ones to finish this one. So this one has a lot more variation. I would have liked it to be like a more similar. And then the way I did the flooring was I had bought a bunch of poster board and I made, templates of every floor. And then I would lay double-sided tape, which is like for laying carpet. It's very thin and it's pretty sticky, and cover the whole poster board in that. And then lay the individual tiles or wood or carpet onto that, and then glued the poster board in there afterwards. Let's see, for the ceilings, I use this stuff called contact paper. It's this smooth, kind of whitish paper, and in a similar fashion, I had made templates with the poster board and then cut it out using that. But then this stuff has its own adhesive. You peel the back, and then I would stick it directly to the ceiling. And I believe I did that on the house. I did a lot of the house upside down, so the ceiling stuff would be easier. I had bought this extra kit that has, I forgot what it's called. I'll have the description. In the description, I'll have a link to it. But it has it's like the trim kit for this style house from Real Good Toys. Comes with all of the crown molding, the base molding, and I believe it came with the stair railing. This is a little bit different than what comes with the kit. The only thing that's a little bit annoying about this is that this is made from MDF and requires it to be painted, sanded, and painted again, maybe even another time. And the individual little crevices in here are difficult to sand. But, I did the best I could with that. Let's see here. Wallpaper. I got some pretty nice wallpaper. I decided to go with more realistic. I see a lot of really fancy wallpapers being used in that little bit of research I did, but I kind of strive for something that's similar to what I would see in a more modern house, just regular paint finishes or maybe a little bit of a texture. So this is like a light yellow texture. This is a pink textured and sort of finish. This blue, it really doesn't show up, but it has some bit of a sparkle to it. This is gonna be a boy's bedroom whenever get some more furniture. This was kind of cool, I thought. Yep. And the way I did the wallpaper was before I even built the house, I cut I traced all of the walls on poster board, so I had these templates, which wasn't crucial, let's say, for these square ones, but really came in handy for the triangular shapes up here at this floor. Made everything pretty perfect. Let's see here. A lot of the furniture came from my sister to give her to my daughter as a Christmas gift. Let's see here. We got this little bench on here. When I found this bench, it was red, and the chain length is different, and this was actually difficult to install in that you have to have the exact right amount of links on every piece of this, otherwise it hangs crooked or scrapes the wall, and they have to be straight. So this was kind of a fiddly thing to do, and painting it even was kind of difficult. It took like 5 coats to cover the original red. came out good. There's contact paper on the ceiling there. Found these little Amazon boxes, which is kind of cool, on Amazon. Some house numbers, a doorbell, a crystal, a little handle that was kind of nice with a crystal ball. I think my daughter hid the key under here. Yep, there it goes. Crap. Anyway, got it backwards, fine. A little door knocker that actually moves. Mailbox. Alrighty. The company that makes this kit also sells this this kind of sand. I have it over here somewhere. This stuff. Anyway, you mix this stuff in with some paint, and then it gives you like a stucco texture for the foundation. Let's see, anything else I did that was custom? Okay, so we go on to the electrical situation. All right, so I had gotten this transformer, which is really a power supply. The advantage of this one over some of the older ones is that, with my reading and whatever, is that each transformer is able to apply power to a certain amount of lights, and if you don't give it the right amount of lights, it either gives out too much voltage or not enough voltage, which can either burn out your bulbs or have them do too dim. This has a voltage regulator inside, and you can put any amount of lights on there, below its maximum threshold, and it'll just give out a consistent 12 volts, so you're not going to be burning out your bulbs and stuff. So this is actually a power supply, not just a transformer. So touch above. I have this thing mounted at the bottom of the table. I had bought this table. Actually, this is actually 2 tables off of Amazon that I had put together because it was a farm. I like the style. I thought it matched the house, and the dimensions were pretty perfect for what I was trying to do. So anyway, I mounted this power supply underneath. Let me see if I can even see it. Yeah, you see it there? There it goes. It's zip tied to the bottom there in between the 2 tables, and the wires go up through there. And then in between the tables, barely where you can't see, there's an automotive connector, so I could disconnect it when I need to disassemble it. And then it comes up through the center of this turntable. This, I believe, is Real Good Toys. The same company that made this sells this Lazy Susan turntable kind of bearing thing, which you probably can't see under there. And the wires come up through here, and I bought this thing on Amazon, which I'll put in the description. It's called a slip ring, and it allows electrical connections to go through and be rotated without any wires ever breaking. It has these sliding contacts, so you can have this thing electrified and spin it as much as you want, and no wire would ever break or anything. Okay, I'm really whipping this thing around here. So boom. So the power comes in through the center of the house, and underneath there I'm using tape wire. Hold on, find some. One moment, I'm gonna set this down so I don't have to edit that out maybe. There we go. Okay, so underneath the house and behind all the walls, I'm using this stuff, this tape wire, and lays flat, 2 copper strips that are flat, and it's all over the house. So it comes underneath here. We connect the power to this tape wire. I run the power over here to some switches. I have 2 switches. One switch, this one, is just for the LEDs. And the LEDs, let me put it back on. Because I find that the realistic lights don't actually give off a lot of light. They're just for looks. So the LEDs, sort of hidden, give it enough light to really, so you can play. But if you want to look realistic, you can turn those off and just use the realistic lights. Put this back on. So that's one separate circuit, and the LED lights run a circuit by themselves, a separate circuit, and all of them just turn on and off with this switch. And I put them in sort of hidden spots. So like in every room, let me back up. In every room, there are LEDs. If I go at this angle, you can probably see it. There we go. So in every room, there's LEDs, and they're sort of hidden behind this trim work that that I added. And then if we were to go to the deeper rooms, there's also LEDs back here. And there I kind of put the crown molding around them to sort of have them recessed. Actually, you know what? I can probably see it better from this way. There we go. So yeah, so there's LEDs that I sort of have behind the crown molding. And then again, they're all on a switch. They all go together. Alrighty. So that circuit was kind of simple. Let me see if I have the LEDs. This is what the LED individual strips look like. You cut them at these little spots, and you lay these on the tape here, and we pierce these little contact points with these little eyelets. And so it's pretty simple. It's a self-adhesive on the back. You peel it, you stick it on there on top of the tape, and you pierce that right, you know, to line up with those two bits of wire. And then so they go in pretty quick. Alrighty. Let's talk about a couple of the tools I use before I go into the more complicated circuit. This is a little gauge that I had picked up that you put across the floor, and you use this to lay out all of the tape that are at the height for outlets. I haven't added many outlets, only one up here. This. There we go. I have one outlet because I only have one lamp that plugs in back there, and I have the ability to add more, but just haven't done that yet. But anyway, every room at about that height, there's tape wire ran to add outlets in the future. So anyway, this allows me to lay it out and later to find it behind the wallpaper. Although if you look carefully enough, especially this light colored wallpaper, you can, especially with a camera, you can see the tape wire back there. So it's not terribly hard to find. Alrighty, so I also used this little drill, a 3-to-1 deal. And this drill is used to put in the larger eyelets. I have a little tape on here where I would use as a depth gauge to not actually go through a wall or a ceiling, you know. This is what the eyelets look like. These are the large eyelets to make splices and connections. These eyelets are the perfect size to make my little buttons work, which I'll go into in a little bit. This little tool is how you push those eyelets into the tape. They go onto here, and then with a little bit of force, not much, but no, you didn't need a hammer or anything, you can make your connections. Let's see here. This is a little tester, which there's a million, let me put this thing. There's a million videos about this thing. This is how you can test to see if you have power in a certain location. You would pierce the tape in the wall and it would light up if there was power there. Let's see what else we have here. Oh, and then this is the buttons I bought. So I'm gonna leave this out, and then I'll go into the more complicated circuit. One second. Okay, so the other circuit we have, which is on the second switch, I start, you know, through the electrified turntable, then through the switch, and then it brings power to everything else, but the power is interrupted in every room by one of these buttons. So let me back up a little bit. So when you push it, you can turn on and off a light in any room. Like that light out there is, the dining room is off. The button is around the corner here. And the way I installed that, which I use these little buttons, and the eyelets are the perfect size for this. So all I have to do is run some tape wire. I would interrupt one of the copper strips, like the positive one. Although these incandescent lighting isn't polarity sensitive, but I would interrupt usually the positive side, and then, you know, by cutting it out, glue it there, put an eyelet through each of these holes, and then I would have my little, then this would, you know, either make or break the circuit. And I did this for every room. You know, there's a button in every room. Some rooms have 2 buttons, like this main living room. This button works the light up here. And this one you see here actually is running the outdoor lights I have on this bottom floor. You know, out here, there's this little light, and then in the front, there's a little light. So if I hit this button here, this one goes in and out. Let's see here. Ooh. And this room also has 2. You know, that's running that fan, which is, they kind of spin, which is cool. Not, it doesn't have a they do sell motorized ones for a lot more money, but this one just has a little bearing in it or whatever. But this one has a second switch, and it is for this outside light. Click it on and off. Yeah. So yeah, I had to make sort of a little schematic or a plan, and as I was building it, about where all the wires would go. So I drew it all out on paper, and I'll include like a picture of that. Let's see here. Anything else custom?